What is going on? Today we will be doing the Road room from TryHackMe. It is a recent room. It's actually one of the very recent rooms. And the description says it's inspired by real-world pentest engagement. So without too much blabbing, let's get to it. So we deploy the machine. We make sure the IP address has popped up, and we go to the scanning phase. So we scan the machine with Nmap, and we see we have two open ports, 22 and 80, much like any other pentest engagement. And actually, most of the time, if you are pentesting a real target, chances are you won't find more than two open ports, 80 and 22. Now we skip the blabbing, as I said, and now we go to the web server. So we copy that and we navigate to the IP address, find out what the page looks like. So Sky Couriers, the title is here. Now we see welcome to Sky Couriers. We are multidimensional with technical expertise and provide wide range of solutions for websites and web applications. We're a team of skilled technical enthusiasts who are adamant towards making our customer business run easy and scale new heights every day. So this is a technical company. Now we see different parts of the page. Now, part of pen testing any web application is first to locate the administrator login page. So poking around here, we have many tabs. Welcome service feature, and the one that stands out is Merchant Central. If we click on that, we see we have a login page. Now, there are several ways to think about this. First, we have brute force. Second, we can try SQL injection, or let's go ahead and register an account, understand more about the authentication process. So we register, type in an email address. I'm going to type just a demo mail address, demo.com. Any password works. Any mobile number also works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Register. So now your account has been created. Let's now log in. And the password. So let's see here. Okay, we logged in now as my username. Now normally when we log into any online website like that or CMS, we would also look for areas where we can upload files. So if we go to upload manifest, alright, doesn't work. Let's see here. Reports, NDR, ODA orders, ticket management. Seems like nothing working here. Alright, let's click on that. Also doesn't work. If I click on my profile, see here on my profile page. Alright, so we see here an option to select a profile image. Now this is a chance to try to upload some sort of web shell, right? But the thing is, it's saying only admin can upload files. So please drop an email to admin@sky.thm in case of any changes. So only admin@sky.thm can upload images or files. So what to do about that? So we have somehow to get access to the administration portal as admin@sky.thm. So for the challenge here, if we take a look at now edit profile, okay, and we scroll down, let's find a way to abuse the password reset feature. So if you go to profile again, let's see where is password reset feature, reset user. Click on that. So as you can see, this is the password reset page. One of the ways actually to bypass the administration, the admin username, is to reset the password. Now here the option is given only to reset. As you can see, the box of the username is grayed out, which means you cannot just select any user and reset the password. So the only way to reset the password is to reset your own password. But let's get that to Burp Suite and see how the process works. So we turn on the proxy go to burp suite. Okay, so intercept is on. Now let's try resetting the password just to understand how the request works. New password would be MOT321. So let's submit that. Alright, so this is a request. As you can see, this is the page /v2/lost password, and we have several stuff we can take a look. So as you can see, we have my username, which is grayed out here, we can't change it, and we have the password that I just typed, and here I have the submit. So what if we send this to the repeater and try to change some parameters here? So if we change that to admin@sky.thm, what's gonna happen? We're gonna try to change the admin password at sky.thm. Let's send that. So password changed, taking you back. That looks great. Okay. So now this is off. Let's take a look now what's gonna happen. Password change, taking you back. Now I still at my old username. Let me try to sign out and sign in back as admin at sky.thm. So I am logged in now as admin at sky.thm. So we have successfully changed the password of that username. Now let's head back to the edit profile. And now as you can see, there is no note saying we can't upload an image. We can just now upload an image and start the hacking process. Alright, so now let me go back to my terminal here and change to or mount the drive where I store the web shell. So cd back, cd repo. So where are you now? All right, cd tools. Jankro web shell. Let's take a look. PHP web shell. So let's make sure the IP and port are correct. So IP, this is my IP address, and this is the port. That's correct. IP config or if config. Okay, now let's go back, fire up the listener, and upload that shell. Okay, so so now we uploaded the PHP web shell. Now let's try to navigate to that shell. Now as you can see, take a look at the URL. This is the IP, v2 and profile.php. Now how do we know the upload path? If we view the page source here, let's take a look if there is a hint about the URL of the uploaded image. If we search for images, so as you can see, there is a comment here with the URL of the profile image. So /v2/profile images is the upload path. So now we go back. In order to trigger the web shell, we're gonna have to take this URL and type in here profile images / the name of the file you just uploaded. In my case, it is, let's take a look here. So this is the file name. All right, let me check. And indeed, we get the first foothold on the machine. Now we need to do a couple of stuff here. We have first to stabilize the shell. So I'm gonna head back to my notes and grab the TTY. So here's your TTY. What's that? Python not found. Maybe you're gonna type Python 3. Let me modify on this one. Take that. Okay, so with Python 3 it worked. Now our job here is to escalate the privileges. So let's take a look first at the current files in the current working directory. So yeah, let's go to home, ls. So we have two users, web developer, one user actually, web developer. If you try to cd, or if you try to type ls/la to understand the permissions, so yes, so let's go to web developer now. And we have the user.txt file. Let's get the user.txt file and grab the first flag. So first flag. Okay, done with the first flag. Now let's get to the second flag. One important note though is that if you are doing a pen testing for a real machine, make sure that you view the permissions of any directory or file before you try to access it. So here we view the permissions of the directory of developer, and we saw that we can actually cd to that file. What happened? I think the background changed here. Let's see what happened. Purpose with community edition, timeout in communication server. All right, let's close that. We don't need this anymore. Yes. Close the proxy. All right. So let's get back here. So it's important to try to view the permissions of the directory before you access it, because if you're doing pen testing engagement, sometimes it's gonna say in the logs access violation error or attempt to access unauthorized resources. So make sure you try to view the permissions of any directory before you cd to it. If you're not allowed, just make sure that that directory is within the scope of your pen testing engagements. Anyway, that's only a note I wanted to say. Now let's get back to the hacking. Now we have to escalate the privileges. So for this machine, the way to escalate the privileges is to find plaintext credentials. The plaintext credentials reside in a MongoDB or Mongo database. So you may ask me, how do you come to this conclusion? Basically, I didn't directly came to that conclusion. It's actually after a lot of testing, we found that the Mongo database or a Mongo database is running on the system, and we try to log into the Mongo database. There are plaintext credentials inside the database. We grab them and we log in as web developer. From there, we escalate to root. So how do you know what is running on the machine? You can try ps-aux to list the current running processes. So if you take a look here, let's see. So we see here Python sh. Or you could try listing the current listening ports. TULMP. So if you take a look here, you have port 33060 and you have port 27017. This one is for MySQL and this one for Mongo database. That's how we know that there is database running on the machine, and it is listening using the local address. So the only way to log into the database is to use the loopback address or the local IP address. So now let's see if we can log in to the database and interact with it. So if you want to log in to the Mongo database, you type Mongo and then the host name. The host name is 127.0.0.1. Now we logged into the database. Like we do with any database, we first try to find out how many databases we have. So show DBS, how many databases we have. We have admin, backup, config, and local. Admin seems tempting. Also backup seems tempting. So, but the one that will work for you is the backup. Now use backup. To select a database, just type use and database name. So switch to DB backup. Now the next step is to view the tables. After the database, in the hierarchy, we have the tables. So show collections. Show collections display the current tables. So we have collection and we have user. Now at the first glance, user is, or the user table is the most tempting table to enumerate. So in order to dump the entries of a table in the Mongo database, we use db dot the database name, the table name. Table name is user. And also we didn't finish. We have find. This one will dump all the entries. So these are the entries: month, name. So here we have name, web developer, and we have the pass equal Bahamas, chab 123, and we have some characters. Also we have the name, the end date, the name, the salary. So we have, it's like key values, right? So now we take the username, or we take the password actually, and try to switch to the username in the system. So we are doing some sort of horizontal privileged escalation from an unprivileged user to a more privileged user, but not necessarily a root user, right? So let's make sure we copy the password and we exit from the MongoDB. So we're back to data. Now su web developer. Now asking the password, we paste in the password. Also notice that the password is pasted or prompt in, without any sort of protection, right? So when you paste in the password, it doesn't appear, right? Or when you type the password, it doesn't appear to you back on the screen. But here you can see it, which is also another security misconfiguration. All right, now we are web developer now. So the next step is to escalate from web developer into the root user. Now let's type sudo -l. So we can run user bin sky backup utility, and here without the need for any password, and we can run that utility as all users, including the root one. That's great. Now if you take a look here at the entries for matching default entries, you see we have the LD preload library, which means that we can create our own shared library and make the application here use our own library instead of the original one. So if you make a shared object, right, to spawn a shell, and we make the application run our own or run using the shared library, we can just spawn root shell. So let me go to my Linux sheet and find out where is that method. So we can first take a look at that. Where is that? Let's see. LD. Okay, preload. All right. So we have the C code here. We can compile the C code into a shared object and then run the application, as you can see, using our own shared object. So Let's take this one. I prefer to create this on my machine and then we retrieve it using wget. So nano, let's name it shell. Let's see. Okay, now we compile this gcc dash. So I have it ready. Change this with the file name shell, and the output file also needs to be the same, and we create the shared object. Now it's ready. Let's now spawn Python web server, sudo python 3, and download that to the target machine. So wget my IP address config / shell dot o. Actually it doesn't, it's not O, it should be SO. So basically here I'm gonna stop this and recompile this to SO. The extension for the shared object should be SO. So S. Okay, now here SO. Connection refused. So we need to spawn the web server again. Okay, so we have the shell.so here. And the next step is, as I said earlier, to run the application, or the application that you can run as sudo using your shared object. Let's take a look. So the application name, or let's type sudo-l one more time, sudo-l. So this is the application name. Now let's type sudo ld preload equal. Before that, let me grab the current working directory, pwd. We are at home, I guess. So sudo / ld preload equal home web developer / shell so, and then we type the application name or the binary name. So this is Sky backup utility, and now we make the binary use our own shared object. Now we ID, and we can see we are now the root user. That's how this technique works. Now we cd to root cat root.text, and this is your final flag. So that was it for today. I hope you learned from the walkthrough today, and don't forget that if you want to get access to the notes, you have to subscribe to the membership. So that was for today. See you guys in the next video.